1, 2, 1, 2. I have been obsessed with this idea of customization lately. It's why I got a 3D printer. It's why 2 years ago there's a video on the channel of me like trying to carve out an Apple Watch stand out of a piece of wood with like a Swiss Army knife. And so I've become lately very obsessed with this idea of customizing my MacBook. And I did do a couple of things. I have this pad on the bottom here that lets me set it at a bit of an angle. It's at a bit of a better ergonomical angle for me. Then I added this thing over here. It's from an old like iPhone stand that I took apart, and I used a part of it. I just use it to open and close it because it's actually really easy to grab onto, and then I don't get the screen a stare to me. But lately, I've been really obsessed with this idea of having some way to have a second display for the Mac. I used to have an iPad and used to love doing sidecar with that. Don't have that iPad anymore. Getting a second display is not really financially possible right now. It's also not as practical. I wanted something I can take around with me. And then I realized that I have this. This is my iPhone 15. I don't love it. I actually don't love the feel of it or so much about the construction of it. But here's a second display. And something I find myself doing often is I'm in a long distance relationship, so talking to my fiance. But I don't like talking to her on the Mac because if I'm busy with something, then I can't see her. And so I wanted a way to take my phone and mount it next to the laptop. So the idea is I would open the laptop and I would have some way to mount the phone next to it so that I could see her and continue working, or I could have music playing here and then continue working here. It would also put my phone like sort of out of reach so that I'm not picking it up to scroll on it. And so initially I had a couple of ideas stuck on here, like this, and it sort of slides out like that, and then you can put the phone on there. The problem is that I actually don't know how to design this kind of rotating joint. I have no idea how to do that. The other idea was to have something that was folded like this, but that folded outwards like that. But again, I have no idea how to design that kind of lens for my 3D printer. And so eventually I was on a plane where this is very crude and there's a lot of other stuff here, but I was just on the plane and I had this idea of having something on the laptop that could sit flush like this and then could flow out like that, and I could put my phone onto it with MagSafe. Basically, I went through quite a number of iterations. So the first thing that I designed was this. So the idea was this was going to slip in here and then slip out when I needed it. I did a couple of mistakes with this iteration. First of all, I cut them out exactly, and so the tolerances were really narrow and it couldn't actually fit through. The other issue that I realized is that when this is stuck to the laptop, the bottom part needs to be bigger than the top part so that the actual MagSafe mount can still slide properly under the second one that I designed was this. Now this actually worked quite well. I'd made the bottom part thicker so that the MagSafe mount, which I'll show you soon, could fit to the bottom of this and still sort of slide in and out smoothly without hitting the lid of the MacBook. The only thing is this was really chunky. Eventually I landed up with this. So this was the perfect size. I stuck it onto the laptop with double-sided tape. It slides out really nicely, so if I show that there, this will slot out and it then sits there quite nicely, and I can just pop my phone onto that. And then it sits there. And when I'm done, I can just push on that and then slide it back in and close the laptop. The design is not without its flaws. This moving in and out mechanism